Hey everyone, my name is Ryan Cisco, and today I'm going to be explaining some of the key differences between version 4 and version 5 of Spear, and we'll also cover some of the basics of version 5 as well. So I thought I would start the video by first showing you a workspace from version 4, and then I'll show you what this same workspace looks like in version 5 so you can kind of get up to speed a little bit faster. So in version 4, we had the workspace outline like this, and as you can see, I've got 10 pages in this workspace outline. By the way, these used to be called boards in version 4. We now call them pages in version 5. And as you can see, I've got the first 5 pages open. So if I scroll along here, you can see all those pages side by side. Another key feature of workspaces in version 4 was this board view, dock view toggle switch. So in board view, you can see your content side by side. And in dock view, it would stitch all the content in the workspace outline, like so. This board view, dock view toggle switch is no longer a feature in version 5. You can still stitch pages together like this, and you can still view pages side by side. We just do it a little bit differently in version 5. So now let's go and look at the same workspace in version 5. So this is that same workspace that we were just looking at in version 4. You'll see that we have our 10 pages here in the workspace bin. This is essentially the new workspace outline, and then you'll also notice that we have the first 5 pages again in this area called the landing zone. So essentially, the new workspace outline is broken up into 2 parts. This top part, the workspace bin, is where you can organize ideas and keep things kind of clean and neat and tidy. This landing zone section, this is where content initially appears if you create something in a workspace or import it from somewhere else in your account. So for example, if I click on this Getting Started page, it's going to land in the landing zone right here. If I don't want to have this page in this workspace anymore, I can just click on this little X icon right here. Okay, so why do I have 10 pages here and 5 pages here? So this is part of the migration process. The way the migration from version 4 to version 5 works is that we take everything that was in the workspace outline, so we had pages 1 through 10, and we put them in the workspace bin. And anything you had open, we put in the landing zone down here. That's why we have these 5 pages here, and they're also up here. So I don't need these pages down here like this, so I'm just going to get rid of them. So we'll just get rid of them like this. Okay, perfect. So one of the key differences of workspaces in version 5 is that by default, I only see just one thing at a time. I don't see them side by side anymore like I used to. But I can replicate that if I create a board. So if I come down here, I can create a board, and we'll go ahead and call this board A. By the way, you can rename things by clicking on this little pencil icon. So I'm going to call this board A. And then all I need to do is just drag these pages onto it like this. And you can also pop open the board contents panel right here, and you can also drag pages in here like this. And this is also how you rearrange pages on a board in version 5. So if I want to put this page 5 at the top, I can just do that like that, and then close this, and we will now see page 5 at the front. You can also remove contents from a board by clicking on the little X's over here. So one of the great things about boards in the new version of Spear is that I can have multiple boards in the same workspace. So I'm just going to move this up here real quick, just like that. And then I'm going to create another board, and we'll call this board B. Oops. And I'll bring this one up here as well. And now I'm going to add pages 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. And now you can see that I can have multiple boards side by side and switch between them very quick. And you can also see that I've got the same page in both of these boards, so that's totally fine as well. So now let's say we want to replicate the old dock view feature where I was able to stitch these pages together. Well, I can do that with the new stack feature down here. So if I click here, we'll give this stack a name. We'll just call it stack A. And now all I have to do is pop open the table of contents panel, and now I can just drag these pages in. Perfect. So it stitches them together just like it did in version 4. And I can edit this text right here. I can delete this off and say something else. And I can also edit these pages individually. So if I want to work on just page 1 by itself, I can just click over here and I can add some more text. Here is some more text. And then when I come back, it just updates immediately. So the great thing about workspaces in version 5 is I can have multiple boards, multiple stacks, all in the same workspace, rather than the workspace just being one board or just one stack. So it's much more capable of handling large projects. By the way, if you don't see this side panel, you can hide it and open it right here. And that's the same with the home panel over here. Okay, so one of the other really cool features is that I can view things like boards and stacks side by side. So let's say I want to see board A and stack A side by side. I can just drag board A and drop it here like that. Now I'm going to close the home panel here. I'll go ahead and close the sidebar as well. And now I can have this board and the stack going at the same time, and they'll all update as well. So if I start writing here, start writing something, you'll see it just updates automatically right over here because it's the same page. And it's just a really cool way of working, opens up a lot of possibilities. So real quick, some other basic things. We've got the home panel that you've seen over here. This is where you find all of your workspaces, pages, stacks, boards, as well as databases. This is a new feature. We're not going to go into it right now, but this is where you can find all the databases in your account. And yeah, you can navigate between the different types of items by clicking on the tabs up here. Some other basic stuff, we've got dark mode over here, and we also have our help, so you can get quick access to our help documentation right within the app, as well as access to the change log to see recent updates. And then you can rename workspaces up here, so you can click and type a new name if you want. And then we also have the search up here, so I can search for workspaces in my account, and then I can also twirl this down and look at the other types as well. Okay, one or two more things before we finish up. One cool thing that I forgot to mention about split screens is that you can actually have multiple split screens at the same time. So if you see this element down here with the line and dots, that indicates that this is a split screen. So let's say I wanted to have another split screen where I'm looking at page 10 and board B. So I can just drag this just like that. And then I can switch between them by clicking down here. And if I no longer want to have this split screen, I can just click these little X icons here. You can also move the split screen around by drag and drop by coming over here. And you can rearrange the items within the split screen by grabbing them and moving them just like this. As long as you see the blue outline around the border of the split screen, this item will land inside the split screen still. If I keep dragging up and the blue border disappears, now this is going to land outside and then it would just be by itself. So if you're rearranging items within a split screen, just make sure you see that blue border. Okay, so the last thing I want to do here real quick is just explain a little bit about how blocks work and how to create page content in version 5. So I can just write on the page and put down anything I want. Here's a great idea. And if I want to change the style of this, I can just click on this little button here and say, make it an H2 or something. An even quicker way to format things is to use the new command menu, and you can access that by hitting /. So I can just say /, and then I can say, I want a block quote or something, and I can type some content just like that. I can also use Markdown, so I can go dash, and this will create bullet points. So here's a bullet point, and I can keep going, and then I can just press enter again to get out of it. I can also add things like images and YouTube videos, and then I can also color blocks as well. So I can say, make this bullet point a color, make it stand out, we'll say red. And you can also transform blocks from one type to another using the command menu as well. So if I want to change this to something else, I can hit /, and then I can change it to heading 3 or / and make it a checklist item. And lastly, if I want to move a block by drag and drop, I just need to come over here and click on the little handle and then drag. And there you have it. So I'm going to leave it there for now. There's obviously tons more to learn about Spear, but we'll cover that in later videos.